One, we are done with the module B altogether, right? Currently, we are done with the complete module B. So, what are we going to do today? The point that arises is the today the specific class is meant for only one thing, that is to revise entire module B. So obviously now when we talk about the entire module B, there would be questions from different areas today that I'm going to cover up. So let's move on. Acha everyone, at the same time, if you like this particular series, then please go ahead and like each and every class, because that particular thing really is a source of motivation for me. Secondly, please keep on sharing this particular session among your peers, because your support definitely means a lot to me as a mentor. Whenever anybody is appreciating your work, definitely you feel way better about it, right? Okay, then let's move on. Here comes the first question. The question talks about which one of the following statements is correct about the minimum paid up capital of a company. 1 lakh for private, 10 for public, 5 for private, and then we have no minimum paid up capital. If you talk about Companies Act 2013, now before that it was there. Before that it was there कि the minimum capital requirement was there. So every organization had to do this. Now there is no such thing. Now it has been removed, the entire situation where there is a minimum capital required. Right now no minimum paid up capital is prescribed. Okay. Then comes the next question. What does the share capital represent in a company? Total revenue generated, total assets owned by the company, total amount invested by the shareholders, or total liabilities of the company. When we talk about this area, what are they talking about? What does the share capital represent, everyone? Share capital is basically the money which a particular person invests in the business, and we call it equity. You know, this particular term is called equity. Correct? Now let's move on. We have total amount invested by the shareholders. So basically, whatever money you and I are putting into the business is covered in this scenario. Now comes, this is a practical question. Following amounts are payable by the person, that he has to pay 3 rupees on application, 2 on allotment, 2 on first, and 2 on final call. X is holding 500 shares, paid only application and allotment money. Matlab he paid application money, then he paid allotment money, and Y holding 400 shares did not pay the final call. Acha, we have done this question earlier, but let's discuss this again. He has paid these two, matlab his 4 rupees are still left per share, है ना? And at the same time, Y did not pay the final call. Y did not pay the last 2 rupees. So what did he not pay? 800. And what didn't he pay? 2000. So technically, combined, the entire amount which is unpaid in the organization is of Mr. X and Mr. Y. Acha everyone, if the particular persons, both A and X and Y, are unable to pay their amount, what will happen then? If both these parties are unable to pay the amount, then there would be only one decision that would be taken. That is, these two people will be eradicated or striked off from the company's accounts. They would be written off. They would be striked off in the form of forfeiture, everyone. Okay? Done? Now let's move on to the next point. That is 2800. The question says the premium received in terms of issue of shares is shown as. Everyone, the premium received on the issue of shares is known as, is shown on which side? The premium received on issue. Whenever we are issuing shares, we ask them to pay for more. Equity and liabilities, part of balance sheet. Debit side of P&L, credit side of P&L, a part, assets, part of the balance sheet. What would be the answer in this case? The premium that is received, this is basically when the share is being issued, extra money is charged because we say we have a goodwill in the market. So in this case, it's basically a part of the equity and liabilities portion. In the shareholder funds, you write another reserve which is called security premium reserve. The extra money that you receive due to the security premium goes into the security premium reserve. Okay? What do you mean by forfeited share, everyone? Not be reissued at discount, reissued at maximum discount of 10%, be reissued at a maximum discount equal to forfeiture or none of the above. In accounting, as per Companies Act 2013, any company, that means no company is actually allowed to issue forfeited shares. At no, I'm sorry, no company is allowed to issue shares at a discount. Discount is not allowed. If you are giving forfeited shares, then in case of these forfeited shares, whenever there is a forfeiture, someone had paid 6 rupees out of 10 and then they didn't pay further, so their name was strike off. So now if you want to give the same shares to someone on whom you've already received 6, you ask the particular company person to pay 7 rupees. Then he is paying 3 rupees less than the face value. That is adjusted because the person previously had paid 6 rupees and your discount is lower than the amount that you have got. Got the idea, everyone? Then look at this, everyone. When we talk about the area of discount and forfeiture, if I bought a particular asset for rupees 10, I bought a particular share, then but I paid only 7 rupees. So 3 rupees is still pending. So after a certain period of time, when I am unable to pay, the company will write off my name and the entire money that they have already received is rupees 7 on that particular thing. So then from the next person, the charges that they can get is maximum discount of the remaining amount that he couldn't pay. That is forfeiture, everyone. If the previous owner is not able to pay, then you pay that part. If it is 5, then you give the remaining 5. If it is 4, then you give the remaining 4. That is how the customization of these kind of properties are valued at times. Done, everyone? The answer is be reissued at a maximum discount equal to the amount forfeited. Whatever amount is forfeited, it would be considered in this area. Done, everyone? Here comes the next question. Those preference shares which do not carry the interest rate to receive arrears of dividend. What do you think, everyone? Those preference shares which do not carry the right to receive arrears of dividends. Arrears means done, everyone. What would be the answer in this case? Those preference shares which do not carry the right to receive arrears. If we talk about right to receive arrears, those are basically those amounts which are pending and the person hasn't paid it. So in this case, non-participating preference shares, irredeemable preference share, non-convertible or non-cumulative. Whenever the person says which who do not have the right to receive. Do not have the right to receive means when we talk about the if the company has is about to give the shares, the company faced a loss in that particular year, no one will get the part of profit. But later on, if they get a loss, then they will not get it. If they get a profit, they will get it. Or if they are not able to pay in one particular year, in the next year they will get double because the last year amount was still pending. This kind of thing happens only in case of which do not carry the right. Now in this case they are saying that this particular portion does not have any uh, uh, they do not have the right to receive the arrears of dividend. Who are those people? In this case, the correct answer is non-cumulative preferences, the one which cannot be collected. And everyone, that is non-cumulative. That means you cannot accumulate or keep together the preference shares. Done. Now in this case, which one of the following is not a list of the statements which form the complete set of financial statements as per Ind AS 1? Statement of changes in equity, statement of changes in assets, statement of P&L or comparative information in respect of previous accounting information. Which of the following is not a list of statements, everyone? When we talk about the is not a statement, first is equity, assets, P&L, they all are. But when we talk about the portion, there is one thing. These are not shown separately. And everyone, because the statement of changes of assets is not shown here. It is just something which talks about the increase or decrease in the wellness of the organization because we want to find out how much assets are there in the business and how much they do not have. Then next is which one of the following entities is agreed to required to represent consolidated financial statements as per Ind AS 110. Which one of the following entities is required to represent consolidated financial statements as per Ind AS 110? All companies having more than one division, all government companies, entities that control one or more entities, or all companies are required to represent consolidated financial statements. Consolidated financial statements are those statements where one particular company has control over the other company. If you have a control over the other company, then what will you do? If you have a control, then you will not allow the other company to work in a matlab you have actually all the kind of control over the other company. So in this case, whenever you have a control over the other company, you win over the company because everything that is happening in the business is because you have a control. So technically, na, you prepare your balance sheets, you acquire their balance sheet too. You are also including their balance sheet into yours, and that is how you control. That is how entity control one or more entities. AS 110 is related to that only. When we talk about for the purpose of cash flow statement, which one of the following is considered as financing activity? Issue of fresh capital, processing of goods, redemption of debentures, sale of manufactured goods. When we talk about financing activity means those activities where you are arranging the funds for arranging the funds for financing the business. When we're talking about financing the business, how do we do it? In terms of financing the business, we are having issue of fresh capital. Yeah, this is where you are getting the money. Processing of goods is basically operating, not something that we have to choose. Redemption of debentures means you have paid. This is not in the question there, which one of the following is considered? Actually, two of these are financing activities. First as well as third. Rest two are operating. So any of these, if you have chosen, is the correct answer. Redemption of debentures is a long-term loan which the company would have taken and is paying it off. For the purpose of preparing the cash flow statement, which one of the following is considered investment activity? Buyback, redemption, manufacture of goods, or disposal of machinery. When we talk about investment activity means that activity where you are involved in your long-term business. When you're involved in your long-term business and you are bringing something good in the business, it is where you are disposing your machinery, you are disposing an asset. So that is what we consider as this. So in this case, the correct answer is disposal of machinery, which is an investing activity, everyone. Next point, the rebate of on bills discounted refers to concessional rate of discount on priority sector, rebate provided to priority sector banks, then unexpired discount, or none of the above. Rebate on bill discounted. What I did was I sold my bill to the bank and bank gave me money. So when gave me money, I'm using this money and I'm using this money into my business. So this particular thing can be called okay, now I had 10,000. I wanted 10,000 rupees. This was the bills receivable. I sold it, rebate on bill discounted. Acha, this is where you pay in terms of the amount earlier. Bill discounted is basically the amount where you are selling it to the bank, and rebate is basically the portion when you have unexpired discount. Matlab the discount which is not passed on to you yet. Unexpired means that rebate on bill discounted when there is a bill discounted and the person pays before time, then it is called unexpired discount. Then operating expenses shown in one of the schedules of profit and loss account do not include law charges, printing and stationery, payment to employees, or interest expenditure. P&L. P&L includes legal expenses. P&L includes profit and loss. It includes the amount which is payment to employees. Operating expenses, na? Achha, this is operating, this is also operating, this is financing. Achha. The area of interest, because interest, if not said, it is always finance based thing. So that means we are lending money or we are taking money from someone. So the answer would be interest expenditure. Done, everyone? Now comes the next point. For the core banking system of a large bank, which one of the following is true? Which one is true, everyone? Each branch has its own server. Right? Then each branch has its own server directly connected to the servers of other branches. There is only one powerful server, centralized data. Each branch has a server connected to the server of centralized data. Basically, now each branch has this. Every branch is going to connect to the different areas in terms of the data. So that means you are having each branch has a server which is directly related to the center. Done, everyone? Okay, then comes the next point. Which one of the following statement is not correct regarding computerized accounting? Computerized accounting, okay. Business transactions are captured in accounting entries. It is true. It offers speed and accuracy. Again, it is true. Higher cost as compared to human is a disadvantage of it. Mostly digital computers are used in computerized accounting. In this case, I think in terms of computerized accounting, it is actually C. There is no higher cost as compared to the human labor. No, there is no higher cost. This is way more beneficial in terms of working. It is not a disadvantage. It's an investment that you are making. This particular person that is in the form of a human machine and all, it is going to help the company to grow further, isn't it? So in this case, the correct answer is C. Acha, everyone, if you haven't enrolled in our courses yet, then please go ahead and enroll yourself as early as possible so that you can get the benefits, you can learn with us, and you can prepare for your exam now, because the examination is getting tougher and we all need to prepare in advance and be very selective about how are we going to approach towards our studies. So this is it. You can take up the JIIB Mahapack, or you can take up the courses. This is where you can find the resolution batch. It is starting from 10th of Jan with Amanjot ma'am. That is, I think we are starting with IE and FS or PPB, and later on then we'll be coming up with other subjects as well. So please go ahead and attend the classes properly. You can use the code Y541 and apply it, and you can get a discount of 78%. So go ahead and utilize this opportunity towards your benefit. So that's it for the day, everyone. This is the course which I'm talking about. You can use the code Y541, get a discount of 5381, 77%, and pay this particular amount and get the particular classes. Thank you, everyone. I'll be meeting you tomorrow.